Here's a paradox that breaks most people's brains. You can double your income and still be broke. You can go from $50,000 to $100,000 a year and somehow end up with less money in the bank, more stress, and zero progress toward financial freedom. This isn't a theory. It's the reality for millions of high earners who are still living paycheck to paycheck, just with nicer stuff. Today I'm exposing why earning more doesn't automatically make you richer. The invisible trap that turns every raise into a lifestyle upgrade instead of wealth accumulation, and the exact strategies that separate people who build fortunes from people who just look wealthy. I'm Kyle, and if you've ever wondered why your bank account doesn't reflect your salary, or why your coworker making less than you seems more financially secure, this video will open your eyes. Stay until the end because we're covering the psychology, the math, and the system that keeps high earners broke and low earners building wealth. This changes everything. The core problem is lifestyle inflation, and it's a silent wealth killer. Lifestyle inflation happens when your spending rises in lockstep with your income. You get a $10,000 raise, so you upgrade your apartment, lease a nicer car, eat out more, book better vacations, and suddenly that raise is completely absorbed by new expenses. Your income went up, but your savings rate stayed flat, or worse, dropped because your new lifestyle comes with higher fixed costs. The math is brutal. If you earn $60,000 and save $6,000, you have a 10% savings rate. If you earn $100,000 but still only save $6,000 because you're spending $94,000, you still have a 10% rate, except now you're trapped in a more expensive life. Wealthy people do the opposite. They increase income but keep expenses relatively flat, which means their savings rate explodes. A person earning $100,000 and living on $50,000 a year saves $50,000 a year. That's a 50% rate, and wealth velocity most people never experience. Lifestyle inflation is driven by three forces: social comparison, identity signaling, and the hedonic treadmill. Social comparison means you unconsciously benchmark your lifestyle against peers, coworkers, and social media. When everyone around you is upgrading, you feel pressure to keep up or risk feeling less than. Identity signaling is worse. You buy things to prove you've made it, or to match the image of success you think you should project. The $80,000 car, the designer wardrobe, the luxury apartment, they're not about utility. They're about status. The hedonic treadmill is the cruelest. Every upgrade gives you a temporary happiness boost. Then you adapt and the new normal feels baseline, so you chase the next upgrade. The result? You're stuck running faster to stay in the same emotional place while your wealth-building potential evaporates. Recognize these forces and you can break the cycle. Ignore them and you'll earn six figures and still be one emergency away from financial disaster. Here's the truth bomb. Wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and deploy. A person earning $60,000 who saves and invests $20,000 annually is building wealth faster than someone earning $150,000 who saves $10,000 because they're spending $140,000. Net worth is the only score that matters, not gross income. You can impress strangers with your salary, but you can't buy freedom with it unless you convert income into assets. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They measure success by savings rate, investment returns, and passive income, not by income alone. If your net worth isn't growing significantly year over year, your income is irrelevant. It's just passing through your hands into someone else's pocket. Start tracking your net worth monthly and optimizing for wealth accumulation, not income bragging rights. The scoreboard that matters is private, not public. Let's talk about the expense creep that comes with higher income. Earning more often triggers lifestyle expansion in every category. You move from a $1,200 apartment to a $2,500 one because you can afford it now. You trade your $8,000 reliable car for a $50,000 lease because you deserve it. You upgrade from home-cooked meals to regular dining out because your time is valuable. Each decision feels reasonable in isolation, but collectively, they trap you in a high-cost lifestyle that requires every dollar you earn just to maintain. The danger isn't the upgrade itself, it's the permanence. Once you're locked into a $2,500 rent, a $600 car payment, and a $1,000 a month dining habit, you've created a new baseline expense level that's hard to reverse without feeling like you're moving backward.
Wealthy people make deliberate lifestyle choices. They upgrade selectively in areas that truly matter and stay disciplined everywhere else. The goal isn't deprivation, it's intentional spending that doesn't consume your entire income. Another trap is keeping up spending, buying things because everyone else at your income level has them. If you're earning $100,000 and hanging out with other $100,000 earners, you'll feel pressure to match their houses, cars, vacations, and clothes. This peer pressure is invisible but powerful. You don't want to be the cheap one or the struggling one, so you spend to fit in. The problem, many of those people are drowning in debt or have zero savings. They're just good at looking rich. Real wealth is quiet. The actual millionaires often drive 10-year-old cars, live in modest homes, and don't broadcast their net worth. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're building freedom. If you're spending to keep up with people who are also broke but hiding it, you're in a race to nowhere. Choose your reference group carefully. Surround yourself with people who prioritize net worth over appearances, and you'll stop bleeding money on performance.
Let's talk about taxes and lifestyle bracket creep. When you earn more, you also pay more in taxes, often at higher marginal rates. If you go from $60,000 to $100,000, you're not pocketing an extra $40,000. You're getting maybe $28,000 after taxes, depending on your location and deductions. If you inflate your lifestyle by the full $40,000 in perception, you're actually spending money you don't have, which often leads to credit card debt or depleted savings. The wealthy are hyper-aware of after-tax income and structure their finances to maximize take-home through tax-advantaged accounts, deductions, and strategic timing. They also avoid lifestyle inflation that eats into the actual raise. If you get a $20,000 raise and $6,000 goes to taxes, you have $14,000 more. If you spend $15,000 more, you're actually worse off. Do the math on every raise. Calculate after-tax gain, commit a percentage to savings and investing, and allow only a small, controlled lifestyle upgrade. Automate the savings increase immediately so it never hits your checking account. Here's the behavior shift that changes everything. Treat raises as wealth accelerators, not spending licenses. When you get a raise, promotion, or bonus, resist the urge to celebrate with spending. Instead, immediately increase your automated savings and investment contributions by at least 50% of the after-tax gain. If you get a $10,000 raise that's $7,000 after taxes, automate $3,500 to savings or investments. Live on the other $3,500 if you want a small lifestyle bump, but prioritize future you over present you. This habit alone will build wealth faster than almost any other strategy because it compounds with every income increase. Most people do the opposite. They spend the entire raise and then some, which is why earning more makes them broker, not richer. Flip the script. Make your default save first, spend the leftovers, instead of spend freely and save what's left. The difference is life-changing. Another critical factor, high earners often neglect the basics because they assume income solves everything. They don't budget because I make good money. They don't track spending because I can afford it. They don't negotiate bills because it's not worth my time. They carry balances on credit cards because I'll pay it off eventually. This laziness is expensive. Without tracking and intentionality, money leaks everywhere. Subscription creep, impulse buys, convenience spending, interest charges. Wealthy people, regardless of income, are meticulous about where money goes. They audit expenses, negotiate everything, eliminate waste, and treat every dollar like it has a job. High income without financial discipline is just high-speed wealth destruction. Install a budgeting system, review spending monthly, and treat your finances like a business. The goal isn't to live like a monk, it's to be intentional and eliminate the unconscious bleeding. Let's talk about asset building versus consumption. Every dollar you earn can go one of two directions: consumption, things that lose value or provide temporary pleasure, or assets, things that grow in value or generate income. Lifestyle inflation pushes everything toward consumption. The wealthy funnel most increases toward assets.
stocks, real estate, businesses, education that increases earning power, or tools that multiply productivity. If you get a $15,000 raise and use it to invest in dividend-paying stocks, rental property down payments, or a skill that doubles your consulting rate, that money works for you forever. If you use it to lease a luxury car, it evaporates and leaves you with a depreciating liability. The gap between people who build wealth and people who stay broke despite high income is this simple. Asset buyers get richer, consumption buyers get broker with nicer stuff. Audit every spending decision. Is this consumption or an asset? If it's consumption, ask, is this worth delaying financial freedom? The answer will clarify fast. Common mistakes that keep high earners broke. First, conflating income with wealth. They're not the same. Wealth is what you keep. Second, not automating savings. Relying on willpower guarantees failure. Third, upgrading everything at once after a raise. That's lifestyle inflation on steroids. Fourth, ignoring retirement and investment accounts because I'll catch up later. Compound growth doesn't work that way. Fifth, financing depreciating assets like cars or luxury goods. Every payment is wealth you'll never recover. Sixth, not having a written financial plan. Without targets, you drift into consumption. Seventh, surrounding yourself with other high-income spenders. Your environment dictates your behavior. Fix these one at a time and you'll break the curse. High income is an advantage only if you convert it into wealth. Otherwise, it's just a bigger shovel digging the same hole. At the core, the formula for building wealth isn't earn more. It's earn more, keep more, deploy more. Income is the fuel, but savings rate and investment discipline are the engine. Start today. Commit to saving at least 50% of your next raise before it hits your account. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts so you can't touch it. Track your net worth monthly and make that your primary success metric, not salary. Downsize or simplify one major expense category and redirect that cash to assets. Surround yourself with people who prioritize wealth building over status displays. Read one book on personal finance or investing this month. The gap between high earners who stay broke and high earners who build fortunes isn't income, it's habits, discipline, and intentionality. Tell me in the comments what percentage of your last raise you saved. And remember, if your net worth isn't growing faster than your income, you're just earning to spend. Let's fix that.